Continuing with part 2, we were up to the dead zone. As already mentioned, this is very important, but let's imagine you want to combine it exactly with a specific hump on your trigger press. So what you do, I have here the dead zone or breakpoint for firing a shot, meaning the point where your finger starts moving much easier than the resistance you get in the beginning, and set at zone 5. Again, we have 9 zones. And if I set here the activation dead zone at zone 5 as well, this will guarantee that probably I will get a matching action on screen to what is happening when I pull the trigger. You can play with it here. It can be, for example, that you need to set the dead zone to zone 4 and the D10 zone to zone 5, or vice versa. It's really up to the specifics of the game. Again, you have here the vibration thumb or the bow snap. These are very interesting effects because let's say you decide to use them in a game. When you run out of bullets, you get a very specific audio effect which highlights that you are running out of bullets. This means that your vibration thumb will differ from the one that you get when you're actually firing a weapon. And this also means that you will be able to feel physically when you're out of bullets. Okay, and what you can also do here is very interesting. I will return here to these custom captured effects, but you have the chance to decide whether you want these additional synthesized effects to just use the rumble that is already in the game, use the audio haptics effects, or use the rumble and the audio haptics effects. I have discovered it is very different on a per game basis. Some games like Dishonored 2 don't have a specific vibration associated with slicing with your sword. So if you want to get something here, no matter what you set up, you cannot get a vibration buzz or a thump. You need to set up a custom trigger. But other games such as Doom Eternal, if you set up here rumble plus audio, which is very interesting for this specific effect when you run out of bullets, you may get additional vibrations which you don't want on your finger, so you may just want to set it as rumble. It's really up to you to experiment. Moving forward to this whole section here of custom captured effect. So first of all, this is not just for captured effect. And what do I mean by captured? It could be also done in the effect builder, and I will show you what we have as an option. So we have two sections here. We have the trigger effect monitor and custom effects, and then we have the build a custom effect. So the first one allows you a very interesting thing, which I think is exclusive to this driver. It allows you to run a native game which has controller recognition or DualSense, and you have specific trigger effects. And I very much want to stress that we are talking about a specific click on the trigger and not the audio haptic effect that vibrates your whole controller. So you have these very specific effects. You can do here, just open the game, hit record here, go in the game, and it will capture your execution. You press the L2 and R2 when you're doing specific effects in the game. You come back here, you click stop and fetch. You have a whole list here of the effects that were fired during your gameplay. You can then just select the ones you want to export, and you get the option to save them as a JSON file. Once you do that, it's very easy to just create a profile for a game that doesn't have any custom effects, and then just import here in L2 or R2 your custom effect. What you can also do is that you can import one of the profiles that I have created. You like the effect that you get there, so you can come here, you can say read L2 effect or R2 effect, and then you can just save it again for later use in the profile of a game of your choosing. So it's very intuitive, it's very easy, it's just maybe hard the first time you do it because you don't know what you're doing. The second option here is building a custom effect. Basically, once you build a custom effect, you see that the native games which are being released have much simpler effects for the triggers than what you can accomplish here. So how we do this? We have the 4 types of effects. We have the weapon break from above that we explained, we have the bow snap, we have resistance, and we have vibration. And you can chain these together up to 5 effects per trigger move. And let's suggest we do it first resistance, wear it like this. You can see it. So this will be filled up as you go. And you can see here the force as well. It's 100% now, which is why it's up to the top on the y-axis. So we can add here a bow snap, which starts from 4. Normally you don't want to overlap, but it really depends on the feeling. So just experiment. And you can say like 65%. There we go. So now we have two effects. What we can do with this is just assign to L2 or R2 or save to a file, and we're off. You can also clear effects individually, or you can clear an effect, and here my controller disconnected. So let's reconnect. All right. And we are actually automatically connected, which is the normal behavior unless you are re-enumerating, which is required if you want to hook up a mouse or a keyboard, which you can do with this driver as well. So moving on to the triggers, we were up to here, so you can essentially do it like this. You can just clear any effect from any trigger via this remove, and you can resave. You don't like this effect, you clear it. But where are the settings for these custom effects? And I will be very brief. They are here in this section. You see this line? This device basically the synthesized effect up top by the custom effects. And if this is on here, it means that the custom effect is in action. If it's off, it means that you have the synthesized effect in action. Currently this is gated, meaning that it works by pressing L2. So you need to press L2 to get the R2 trigger effect. You can also do this by L1 as well. So and you have the corresponding options here, or you can have it always on. But moving forward to the custom effects again, and why I'm highlighting this now is because you have the very interesting option to mix this, and I will go more into this in part